Hey, here we go. The Guardians did it. The Guardians did it. The Guardians did it. Yes. They come back. And, hey, listen, there were nervous times today. There's no doubt about it. Everybody was down in the dumps after this team lost Game 3. But they rallied to win Game 4, and they do the same in Game 5. There were a bunch of knuckleheads saying, oh, they can't beat Scooble. The Guardians are done. Absolutely not. Yes, it looked like it early. Scooble was lights out early. But Lane Thomas comes through again. A grand salami. And the Guardians take a 5-1 lead and pull out a 7-3 victory. I didn't love everything Stephen Vogt did in this game. I didn't like taking Boyd out of the second. I didn't like pitching Andrew Walters. He made me nervous. But in the end, the Guardians get the job done. Welcome to the Guardians post-game show right here live at the Bullpen, brought to you by Bet Rivers. If you're not using the Bet Rivers app, I got to pace myself a little bit. I'm not as young as I used to be. You know, when the Cavs won the championship, I was still in my mid-40s. Now early 30s. I got to pace myself a little bit. Everybody excited. I'll try to read some chats later, but I know the chat is going absolutely bonkers. Guardians win it 7-3. What a great victory. Finding a way to beat Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball. And I said this the other day when they were down 2-1. If they find a way to come back and win this series against a team that was the hottest, I know the Tigers on paper aren't great. We all know that. But the Tigers were the hottest team in baseball. They've been the best team for the last 2 months. They had all this juju, momentum, whatever the hell you want to call it. They took care of Houston, won 2 out of 3 against the Guardians, beat Emmanuel Clase in that second game, and it looked like the Guardians couldn't hit a lick. But in the last 2 games, they bounced back. They scored 12 runs after not scoring any for 2 games. 12 runs in the last 2 days, and a lot of great contributors. How did it happen? Let's get to it, folks. This game was a pitcher's duel early. I thought Matthew Boyd pitched really well. In the first inning, he worked around a walk to Riley Green. 3 strikeouts in the inning. Stephen Kwan, an infield single to start the bottom of the first against Tarek Skubal. Man, Kwan has just been amazing. So he had a few hits today, of course, but nothing doing after that. We go to the top of the second. In that inning, Austin Meadows gets a 1-out double off Matthew Boyd, but then Boyd gets a soft pop-up to right and a strikeout to end the inning. 5 Ks, 1 hit allowed through 2 innings. And actually, there was two. I'm sorry. In the first inning, of course, he had the hit by pitch to start the inning before the green walk, and he worked around that. So after 2 innings, we're 0-0. Guardians get a threat in the third. Had a really good opportunity. Rocchio singles. Kwan gets a base hit. They have runners at second, or an error. It was an error. And runners at second and third. And how about Brian Rocchio? We'll talk about what he did later in the game. Has this guy showed up or what? In the beginning of the year, we did bold predictions on UCSS, and my bold prediction was that Brian Rocchio would be an all-star. Well, I was completely wrong about that. Couldn't have been more out to lunch. But for the last couple of weeks, I've been talking. He's had a great September, and he has parlayed it, speaking of Bet Rivers, into a great October. He's been awesome in this series. Obviously, we know about Kwan. We know about Lane Thomas. We'll get more into him. But Rocchio's done a great job both in the field and at the plate. Second and third, 1 out. Unfortunately, the Guardians are not able to capitalize. David Fry does not come through. He strikes out. They, of course, intentionally walk Jose. And Lane Thomas comes up with the bases loaded. Something that would become big in this game. But this first time with the bases loaded, he did not come through. He popped out the first. Then, well, I skipped ahead. I'm so excited I skipped ahead. Now, in the third inning, the Guardians brought in Cade Smith, and he went 1-2-3. I didn't like it. I'm not going to be a phony after the game. In the end, it all worked out. But I did not like going to Cade Smith in the third inning. I thought it was too early. I thought Matthew Boyd, I didn't want to say earned. I trusted him because earned, it's the deciding game. You got to do what you got to do. I trusted him because I knew that if they took him out after 2, they were going to have to use some pitchers that weren't part of the big 4. You were not going to get 7 innings from those 4 guys with all they've pitched in the postseason. So I trusted Matthew Boyd more than some of the guys they brought in. Now, 2 of the 3 guys that don't normally pitch in high-leverage situations did a good job. The third, Andrew Walters, did not. I don't think we'll see him on the ALCS roster. But anyway, so I didn't like taking out Boyd there. I would have let him go at least another inning, maybe 2, depending on how it went, obviously. I thought somebody on Twitter actually made a good point. If you were going to take Boyd, if you didn't want him to see at least the top of the lineup hitters twice, maybe start an opener, whatever, doesn't matter. Smith did get through the inning quick. Then the Guardians blow the opportunity in the bottom of the 3rd. Then in the top of the 4th, Cade Smith strikes out the first 2, but then Spencer Torkelson, who had a pretty good game, gets a big double. So a 2-out again, Tigers, runner in score position. And this would be a theme of the game. For the most part, the Tigers being unclutched, the Guardians being clutch in this game. Eric Sabrowski came in after walking Austin Meadows to put 2 runners on. He gets out of the inning by getting Trevor Rogers to ground out. Guardians go 1-2-3 very quickly against Skubal in the 4th. Then in the top of the 5th, the second decision I didn't like by vote. Did not like going to Andrew Walters there. I didn't understand, at the very least, why he didn't stick with Sabrowski with the lefty Sweeney leading off and the potential to pinch hit Carpenter. Maybe he assumed Carpenter couldn't play. Obviously, he couldn't run. I thought Vogt made a mistake, and it almost cost him the game, obviously. But, hey, all is forgiven. Sweeney walks. Carpenter, of course, hits for Malloy. Carpenter hits a single off the wall. Because he couldn't run, it's a single. Sweeney scores from first. Fairly close play at the plate. But the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. And let's face it, at the time, you know, the way Skubal had pitched through 4 innings, it looked pretty dire, even though it was early in the game. I was not cashing in my chips, but it looked pretty dire. And the Tigers still had a runner on first with nobody out. Walters had to face one more batter. He did strike out Matt Vierling, and then Tim Herring came in. Big play, got Riley Green grounded into a double play to end the inning. But just when things felt like maybe it wasn't going to be the Guardians' day, it immediately turned around after that bad top of the 5th, the inning of the game, the bottom of the 5th. Tarek Skubal, again, he was absolutely cruising through 4 innings. Not a lot of hard contact, nothing. And it all started with a guy I've been tough on, deservedly so in my opinion, Andres Jimenez. He has had a terrible season offensively. He has had a bad postseason coming into today, but he comes through with a hard hit single to start the 5th inning. Then Rocchio, one of the few times he did not come through, he struck out. Tough pitch by Skubal. But Stephen Kwan, who was, he was hitting 550 before his last at bat in the 9th, so I don't know what he's hitting now, but it's over 500. Kwan comes through. He gets a base hit. Jimenez goes to second. All right, first and second, nobody out. David Fry up. Remember, earlier in the game, he came up in the 3rd, I believe it was. Second and 3rd, 1 out. He struck out. Facing Skubal again in this situation, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. David Fry, not a fast runner, hits a slow nubber that kind of finds the empty triangle between first pitcher and second base. He beats it out for an infield hit, and this was huge because if he's out at first, yeah, they still have runners at second and 3rd, but it's 2 outs, and then they're going to walk Jose Ramirez. It didn't happen. Instead, Jose comes up with the bases loaded. He gets hit by a pitch on the forearm. It was a weird moment because you're excited. I didn't even get excited, even though I knew the Guardians had just tied the game, because I'm like, oh, my God. Because at first on the broadcast, they were saying it hit him in the hand, and I could, at the first glance, I didn't know. When they showed the replay, you could tell it hit him in the forearm, so it was less likely to be a serious injury. Not that it couldn't be serious in the forearm, but obviously the hand, there's all these little bones and all that stuff. You don't need that. But Jose looked like he was in a lot of pain. So first, you're like, oh, my God, please, Jose, be okay. We can't afford to lose him. But he was okay. And then you go, okay, tie game. Let's go. Lane Thomas comes up. Bases loaded, 1 out. Remember, again, he was up bases loaded, 2 outs earlier in the game, popped up to first. This time, he did just what he did to the first pitch he saw in Game 1 when the Guardians were up 2-0. He hit a 3-run homer on the first pitch. He saw that at bat. And boom! Boom! Fucking boom! Lane Thomas, grand slam. That was an unbelievable freaking moment. We're all screaming and yelling. I posted a video on Twitter because I was a lunatic out there. I'm sure all of you on your couches at the game, wherever the hell you were screaming, you were going bananas. It was absolute bedlam. Jay Crawford was sitting right behind home plate with his fancy schmancy seats. We know he's a high roller. And he was going bananas. Everybody going crazy as Lane Thomas hits the grand slam to give the Guardians a 5-1 lead. Now, okay, you're feeling pretty confident. It's 5-1 with this bullpen, but you still know it's hanging out there. You had to use Andrew Walters. Tim Herron you already used Cade Smith. You've already, Herron's already come into the game. And as Jeff fucking Francoeur reminded us 8,000 freaking times, got to get 12 outs. Got to get 15 outs. Got to get 9 outs. Got to get 6 outs. Listen, I'm with you, Francoeur. I don't love the way Vogt handled his pen today. I didn't think he did a great job. All managers make mistakes sometimes. I saw some people reacting on Twitter saying Stephen Vogt's the worst manager. That's stupid. Stephen Vogt's done a really good job. All managers make mistakes. Terry Francona, great manager. He's made tons of mistakes. Made him in the World Series. So did Joe Madden, another great manager. So, whatever. And just because I say it's a mistake doesn't mean it. In the end, the Guardians still won the game. But, so there you go. 6th inning. Tim Herron stays in the game. You hope he can get through the 6th. And then, you could finish 7, 8, 9 between Gaddis and Clase and not have to go to anybody else. Didn't happen, although it looked like it might. Herron got the first 2 outs of the 6th. Torkelson again with a 2-out double. Then he goes to 3rd on a wild pitch. Then he walks Meadows. So it's 5-1. All of a sudden, it's 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. The tying run on deck with Jake Rogers at the plate. So they go to Hunter Gaddis. Gaddis gets 2 strikes on Jake Rogers. We know Jake Rogers has been a major pain in the ass in this series. Gaddis gives up a hard hit single to Rogers, makes it 5-2. Still 1st and 3rd. He then walks Trey Sweeney. Bases loaded. And that brings up Kerry Carpenter, the hero of Game 2 for the Tigers. Kerry Carpenter had his opportunity. Bases loaded, 2 outs. If you're like me, you were nervous as hell in that situation because you feel like, oh, my God, we just took the lead. Are we going to hand it right back? Carpenter obviously has been clutch. He hit the 3-run homer in Game 2. He had the RBI single to give them a lead as a pinch hitter with a bad hamstring earlier in the game. Will he come through? No, he will not come fucking through. Hunter Gaddis strikes his ass out. End of the 6th. Only 1 run. Bottom of the 6th, Guardians 1-2-3 against Skubal in the 5 pitches. So you go right back to the 7th. Gaddis gets really no break. Can you get him through the 7th? Well, no. He struck out Vierling to start the inning, but then a single by Riley Green, a double by Colt Keith. It's now 5-3. The tying run is at the plate. It's only the 7th. You're not going to Clase in the 7th. You hopefully don't have to go to him in the 8th, but you did. And so the Guardians now, because getting to all these good bullpenners early, are having to go to a reliever that has not pitched in a high-leverage situation. They go to Eli Morgan. Again, Colt Keith is at second. He comes in. It's a 1-run game, totally different game. But Eli Morgan, they gave you the stat on the broadcast. I think they said he pitched in only 1 or 2 games with a lead, like the second half of the season. Eli Morgan's pitched well this year, but he's not pitched in high-leverage situations. Well, this was as high leverage as it got. Gaddis was gassed. He'd thrown over 30 pitches. Eli Morgan comes in to face Wencel Perez. We know that Perez has been very clutch in this series. Spencer Torkelson on deck. He's had a good day, and he struck both of their asses out. Boom. Need some water. Whew. 5-3, my friends. This water tastes funny. How does bottled water taste funny? Let me take another sip. Deer Park, that's not good water. Okay, 5-3 bottom of the 7th. The Guardians don't rest on their laurels saying we've scored enough. No! Against Will Vest, who's been the Tigers' best relief pitcher. Oh, in the shocking news of the day, Stephen Kwan leads off with a single. I mean, it seems like he gets a single every at bat. So Kwan gets the base hit to start the inning, then David Fry strikes out. Jose Ramirez hits the old-school Baltimore chop between first and second. Kwan goes to third, and the Guardians have a big insurance run at third. First and third, only one out, and oh boy, it's Lane Thomas again. Remember, early in the game, pops up with the bases loaded. 2 innings ago, hits a grand slam with the bases loaded, and now he has another opportunity. First and third, 2 men out. This time, Lane Thomas hits a nubber. Not the grand slam bomb off the bat, but the nubber gets its job done. Kwan scores. Ramirez the second. Infield single for Thomas. 6-3 Guardians. But as Jeff Francoeur reminded us 852 fucking times, there's still 6 outs to get, my friends. I thought Eli Morgan should start the 8th. He did. He walked Austin Meadows, and you knew. I was hoping that, in my mind, at 6-3, I thought I would have given him one more batter, but I completely understand why he didn't want Clase to have to walk into the game with the tying run at the plate. Makes sense in the end. So Morgan walks the batter. He goes to Clase. Clase's got to get 6 outs. Jake Rogers hit a bullet. Remember, it was Rogers' single that got the rally going against Clase in Game 2. This time, Rogers hits a bullet. But Brian freaking Rocchio, baby. Brian Rocchio makes a great catch. Man, this kid's played well. I love what we're seeing from him. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. I like that. I like the confidence from my man Rocchio. Rocchio! I'm losing my mind right now. Then he gets Trey Sweeney to fly out. Strikes out Matt Carpenter. It was a great at-bat. I think it was like 10 pitches. 8-pitch at-bat. Strikes him out on a 100-mile-per-hour cutter. And that ball was right down the middle. Carpenter had 2 chances in this game, but he couldn't get the big hit. And how sweet was it when Emmanuel Clase strikes out Carpenter to finish the 8th, and then he stared his punk ass down. I guess you're not going to be in Tigers lore anymore, Gary Carpenter with your doofy headband. All right, 6-3. Is that enough? Guardians say no. Let's get one more. Who is it? Bottom of the lineup guys coming through after Austin Hedges almost took Jose Ramirez out with a ground ball. Very funny as Jose's going, straighten it out, Austin. Straighten it out. Jimenez comes through. Nice game. Again, I've been critical. He had a really good game. Rips a double in the alley. And Brian Rocchio again, after making the great play, huge play, to rob Jake Rogers of a hit in the top of the 8th. He comes through with an RBI single in the bottom of the 8th. Another insurance run. It's 7-3 Guardians, and that would do it. That would be all the Clase would need. 1-2-3 in the 9th. Struck out Vierling. Green and Keith ground out. And your Cleveland Guardians, folks, for the first time since the 2016 season, are going to the American League Championship Series. When the playoffs started, I predicted a Mets-Guardians World Series, and I'm standing by it. You got all these big boys, all these monster payrolls. Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, and the little old us. Little old us hanging out here in Ohio in the middle of the country. Hello, 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 hey, hey. But I believe in this Guardians team. I believe in them with every fiber of my being. And now it is time on Monday night to take on and take out the evil empire. This is not, you see, game 1, 7:38 Monday night. I will be here with you. I will be watching the game, of course. We will come on live after the game, hopefully to celebrate a Game 1 victory. Not sure what the pitching matchups are going to be yet. Let's see. Tanner Bybee pitched Thursday, so obviously he can't go Monday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He can't go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. He could go game 2. So we'll see Tanner Bybee game 2, probably against Garrett Cole. I guessing it's going to be Alex Cobb, game one. I guess it could be Gavin Williams, who didn't pitch in this series. Never know. It could be Ben Lively, because I think he'll be on the roster in the next round. But my guess is it's Cobb. They chose the veteran the first time. Gavin Williams now hasn't pitched in a while. It's going to be fascinating to see what they decide to do. Both right-handed pitchers, one a hard thrower, one with veteran experience. But we'll save that. We'll have more on that. That's coming up. We got plenty of time to get ready for these Yankees. And you know what? Here in Cleveland, we often complain that we get no love. And yes, the Yankees, Mets, and Dodgers are very popular teams. And yes, Major League Baseball and their TV partners would love to see a Yankees-Mets or Yankees-Dodgers World Series. Either way, that's huge for ratings. But we want to fuck shit up for them. We want to fuck shit up. And I'll tell you what, folks. Everybody who's not a New York sports fan, everybody who's not a New York or a New York sports fan or a Dodgers fan, everybody is going to be rooting for the Guardians. And that's what you want, right? Fans always get mad. They're rooting against us. They want us to lose. Yeah, I'm going to give you that. Major League Baseball, I'm sure, if they had their druthers, would want the Guardians to lose. But fuck them. We're here. We're ready to go. And we're going to take down these Yankees. It's going to be a hard-fought series. It's not going to be easy. It's probably going to go 6 or 7 games. But I believe in this Guardians team, and I think they're going to continue to take care of business. They're hitting with enough power, just enough. Bullpen, it's been worked, so I'm a little nervous about that. But the Yankees' bullpen is not very good. Tigers' bullpen, who you faced, which is not as good as the Guardians, their bullpen is way better than the Yankees. And yeah, do the Yankees have some dangerous hitters? Sure. Judge and Soto, two of the best players in baseball. Jazz Chisholm had a really nice run with the Yankees at the end. The rest of their lineup is very pitchable. Not impressed with Volpe. I'm not impressed with Torres. Not impressed with Trevino. They got nothing at first base. Garrett Cole, great starter. He's only pitching 2 games in this series. And he's not Tarek Skubal, who you just beat. You just beat Tarek Skubal. As good as Cole's been in his career, he's not close to Skubal this year. The rest of their pitchers are solid. I'm not saying they're bad at all. Solid. But great, but bringing it back to the celebration, the excitement of getting things done in this game. Guardians win 7-3. And like I said, for the first time in 8 years, off to the ALCS. For the first time in 27 years, the Guardians win a series in which they were on the verge of elimination. They had lost 11 straight elimination games since beating the Yankees in 97. And now they've won two elimination games in a row. And so that for the first time in 27 years, they've won a series where they were facing elimination. Boom. That's where we're at right now. Let's get to some fan reaction. I'll get to as many as I can. Where are we here? Phil. I don't even know where we're at. I don't know. Okay, let's start with Terrell. Terrell says, hey, Bull, would love to see the pre-written headline section you guys do be converted to the ALCS. I know it's mostly done for the Browns, but I hope you see this and can do it for the Guards. You know what? Terrell, I'm going to write that down. Pre-written. I'm going to shake the camera for a minute. I'm sorry. Pre-written headlines, ALCS. I'm going to get it done for you, Terrell. John Markey says, you're the best, Bull. Love these shows, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, John. I appreciate all of you who support and love this team and who support and love me. Maybe love me. I don't know. At least support. and who join me for these post-game shows. I'm having such a ball doing this. They're so much fun. It's part of the reason I want the Guardians to keep winning because I'm loving doing this. What happened to my camera there? Look at that. We're seeing like a part of my basement here that we're not supposed to see. What's going on? Under suspicion there. All right, we'll live with it. All right, I'm shaking the camera. It's a terrible job by me. Let's get back to the chat. Drama X X-City TV Cleveland. Scooble 8-0 Roger Clemens. B. Skrills. The Guardians turned Scooble into Scooby Doo-Doo. That's a good one. Silverlicious. The only thing that would make this weekend complete would be a Browns win tomorrow. Let's not get nuts. Silverlicious. Do we have to spoil this Guardians celebration with the mention of the bad team in Cleveland? Please. We'll talk about the Browns tomorrow. I don't want them to spoil the high we all feel right now. Let's see. Paul A. Wow, what a game. Why do I waste my time on the Browns? These kids play with heart. Yes, they do. This is a gutsy, hard-nosed baseball team. No doubt about it. Let's see. David M. Congrats to Cleveland coming back to win the series. Congrats to Detroit for how you played the second half of the season. Beat Houston. Played Cleveland tooth and nail. No doubt. Major kudos to the Tigers. They're a team that's going to be a team that has to be reckoned with the next few years. I'll tell you that. Tarek Scooble's great, despite what happened today. This kid, Jason Jobe, who pitched out of the pen in Game 4, he's going to be a starter next year. He's really good. They got all these young hitters. I like it. I like that the AL Central is better. It creates more of a challenge and prepares the Guardians for the playoffs more. The Tigers are good. They're not going anywhere. The Royals are good. I don't think they're going anywhere. Twins are pretty solid. The White Sox are a disaster. They're not going to be good anytime soon. But the rest of this division is really good and really fun. Chris says, crushed it. Will Y, let's go Cleveland. Phil Bowman, W's in the chat. Edward Zupan, Nate Dogg, who's your MVP, Thomas or Quan? I got to go Thomas as the MVP. As great as Quan was, I'm picking Thomas as the MVP of the series. It's tough. They've both been great. Rocchio deserves consideration. But I would go, if I had to pick Thomas, he had to, between the 3-run homer in the first game and the grand slam in the fifth game. Those were two of the biggest hits of the series. It may be the two biggest hits. Obviously, the one today was the biggest. Joshua, we need, no, I'm not doing it, Joshua. Sorry. Red Right, historic grand slam. Let's see. B. Skrill says he was going crazy. Real ting dis. Yanks in 4. Hey, F you, real ting dis. You and your Yankee fan friends can stick it up your you-know-what. Shad Shadell, playoff Rocchio, Effin Thomas, and Quan with maybe one of the best series ever for an Indians/Guardians. Let's go. Michael Straw, Cleveland in 5. As long as Miles Straw doesn't end up on the roster, Michael, yes. Mazeroth, not over, gang. More greatness to come. I like that. David, that home run by David Fry was the biggest hit of the series. We might not have gotten a Game 5 without that. That was certainly right. The 2 Thomas home runs, that home run was massive, no doubt about it. You're right. If they don't hit that home run, they maybe don't get to this game. So I'd still say the Lane Thomas Grand Slam is the biggest, with David Fry close second. Robbie should have pitched Cantillo at some point. I would have thought about Gavin Williams at some point, but it all worked out, like I said. Nathan, Steven Vogt has to be unanimous choice for American League Manager of the Year. No other manager can make a case for the award. That's not true. The managers, both the Royals and Tigers, won. I would say Quintaro. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, the manager of the Royals. But they had lost 100 games last year. So I would give him the vote, but it doesn't matter. Let's see. Michelle says, hi, Adam. Afternoon drive is not the same without you and Dustin. Go Cleveland. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you, Michelle. DK, Yankees will beat the Guardians. You know it, Paul. I do not know it. All my old Yankee people are coming out of the woodwork. We're taking your asses down. I don't want to hear about the friggin' Yankees. You could take your payroll. It's 3 times as high as ours, and that's what you're going to need. You got all these bums in your lineup. We'll take you down. Let's see. Ken, just got to hope our bullpen gets some rest. Hey, first game is Monday. What we need is a nice blowout. Nice Guardians blowout to rest some of those guys. Grant, Guardians very lucky to win. Oh, stop. You guys are embarrassing yourselves, you Yankee people. XLNT Eagle, Lord, please let us beat the damn Yankees. Creative Juice, Yankee fans, talk about sheep. I don't know. You got to call them sheep. There's other people that would be better described as sheep, but, David, my man crush, struck out. Who's my man crush? Got Robbie got something from everyone but the Nailers today. Yeah, the Nailers. Bo Naylor has been just awful. The Stankies says drama. Eli Morgan was clutch, says Scotty, man. What a game. Kink tattoos. Edwards says Yankees ain't shit. All the money they spend can't even get to the World Series. They've gone to 1 in 24 years. B. Skrills, Quan is soaking wet with champagne. Drama's TV, Guardians at 6 over the Stankies. Chris, Morgan was right on time. Dave, no. Wayne, turn it up, Bull, for the land. F the Stankies. F the Stankies. Joshua, $306 million payroll versus $106 million payroll. Ramsey says, I'd love to see a Guardians-Mets World Series. John says, I was nervous about Herron and Gaddis, but Vogt is a beast. Stuck with him when it looked dumb. Let's go. Night Riders, augmented reality. Bull, when you get a chance, what baseball are in the backs are signed? One looks older. Oh. So, I'll tell you. This one is signed by, this one here is signed by a bunch of great Cubs players from, like, way back in the day. Like the 80s and 60s and 70s guys. This one is signed by Rick Sutcliffe, former Indian and Cub. The one on the end I can't remember. This one here was signed by my my Little League team last year. The boys all signed that for me at the end of the season. That one, the one that looks older, that was the ball that I hit a game-winning home run when I was playing for Kings Bay Little League in Brooklyn, New York. And we won the Brooklyn Championship. I had a 3-run homer that gave us the lead in the top of the 6th, put us up 6-4. I don't even remember running around the bases, and then we held on for a 6-4 win. By the way, kudos to my – so, folks, if you know me, you know I coach 2 fall ball baseball teams. And this morning, my 11, 12-year-old team, 6th graders, 7th graders, we went up. We were 6-2 on the year. Played a team that was a perfect 8-0, and we beat them for the championship. The River Bandits, we won 10-6, scored 4 in the top of the 6th, and we won 10-6, and now my younger kids, my 4th and 5th graders, will be playing for a championship hopefully tomorrow morning, and there'll be 2 championships. So if we can avoid the raindrops. Back to the Guardians, who will hopefully be winning a championship in a couple of weeks. As you see, they defeat the Tigers, take a 3-2 lead in the series, win the series 3-2. Now move on to the Yankees. Gunner, imagine Bull telling his kids a bedtime story. Yeah, my son loves when I read to him. Creative Juice talking about the Yankees 27-time champions. He says 25 of those came before your mom jettisoned you out of her womb. So yeah, well, not 25. Creative Juice. They have won 4 probably since his mom popped him out of the womb. But still, so 23 of them. B. Skrills, we're gonna make Aaron Boone go apeshit, crazy. Guardians in 6. Imagine being such a desperate Yankee fan that you come to stream and talk. Hey, fine. We listen. Everybody's welcome. You want to talk your shit as a Yankee fan, that's fine. And if you win, you're going to get your spoils. But if you don't, you better be ready to take that back. Let's see. Nathan, I have no doubt the late, great Mike Trevisano is looking from heaven and celebrating with a beer and a cigar. Dakota, just got to stream. Holy hell, what a game. Take that, doubters. Let's fucking go. Yeah, let's go. Joseph, we win. Thomas, let's go. ALCS time. Keep the live streams coming. You know it. As long as the Guardians are playing, I'm live streaming when it's over. Where we put the Lane statues is red right. Man. Let's see. Daryl says no curse. We got vote. Shout out to you, Daryl. DKK Dog here. You know my loyalties, but I am underestimating the Guardian. But I am not underestimating the Guardians. So K Dog, if I believe who I know that is my friend Dan, who I've known forever, who's a big Yankee fan, but he won't talk trash. Known him forever since we were in our early 20s. Shout out to Dan Coughlin, who passed away recently. Edward Bull, can I be on the UCSS parade float? Well, we ain't getting no parade float, but we'll be out there. I'll tell you that. If the Guardians win this, I'm going to be out on that parade. I'm going to try to get on a float. We'll see. I doubt they'll let me on there. Think Austin Hedges will let me on. I actually thought he should start today. I actually thought, believe it or not, when we started this Guardian season, first game of the year, I was yelling and screaming that I was pissed off that Austin Hedges was starting the first game of the year and that Bo Naylor was on the bench. And here, 162 plus 5, 167 games later, I was not screaming, but I would have started Austin Hedges over Bo Naylor today. There you go. Folks, I'm going to wrap it up for now. I love you all. I really mean that. I got to tell you that I'll be doing another show. So Zach Meisel is now celebrating with the team. He's recapping the celebration. So rejoin me on the Ultimate Cleveland Guardian show. We'll be on at 8 p.m. tonight. 8 p.m. tonight, the Ultimate Cleveland Guardian show. Zach Meisel joins me live from Progressive Field. I actually thought about going to the game today. I think I might go to a couple of the games when they play the Yankees. But so I'll be back with another post-game show. But this one's the Ultimate Guardian show, and we'll do some of that. But we'll get some stuff from the clubhouse, and we'll see what Zach thinks in terms of the complaints I had that are minor now because they won. And we'll see what Zach thinks about who's going to be starting game one in the Bronx on Monday. Zach's going to be flying to the Bronx tomorrow, so I know he's just booking his flight. Things are a little crazy. Thanks to Z and Alex for producing today. A lot more coming. I'll be on after the Browns game tomorrow for post-game right here in the bullpen. After game one, Guardians-Yankees, I'll be on after that. I'll be on after game 2 Tuesday. So stick with me, stick with the bullpen, stick with Bet Rivers, stick with UCSS, Ultimate Guardians. We got you covered. We got our finger on the pulse, unlike most of the sports people in this town. So, love you. Enjoy the Buckeyes game tonight. Remember, Ultimate Guardians at 8, then, watch the Buckeyes after. And until then, thank you all, everybody in the chat. Thanks for all. Sorry if I didn't get the chance to read your message. I'll try to get pre-written headlines done for the ALGS. ALGS? The hell is the ALGS? ALCS. We'll try to get that done. Guardians, for the first time since 2016, are on their way to the American League Championship Series. And the only thing standing between them and another trip to the World Series is the most dreaded evil empire in the history of baseball, the New York Yankees. Let's take them out. I'll see you all tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. We'll see you all. See you later. You've been listening to The Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. I'll have a parlay for the Browns tomorrow, see if they can actually win. But I really don't want to sully the Guardians with the mention of the Browns. Sorry. Guardians going to the ALCS, hopefully going to the World Series. I'll see you all later. Bye. See you later.